Welcome to episode 43 of your CySA Plus Prepcast. In today's episode, we focus on identifying and understanding threat actor categories and profiles. A strong grasp of threat actor types, their motivations, behaviors, and operational patterns is critical for anticipating and defending against cyber attacks. By studying these profiles, cybersecurity analysts can tailor their detection strategies, improve incident response timing, and better allocate defense resources. The CySA Plus exam frequently tests your knowledge of threat actor classifications, so it's essential to internalize how each actor behaves and what threat indicators they typically produce. Let's begin with the core definition. A threat actor is any individual or group responsible for an activity that poses a cybersecurity risk. This includes everything from financial crimes to political disruption to espionage. Threat actors may come from outside or inside an organization and may operate independently or as part of larger networks. Understanding the source of a threat helps analysts predict the types of tactics used, how persistent the threat may be, and what assets are most likely to be targeted. By categorizing actors, analysts reduce investigative uncertainty and strengthen proactive defense planning. Among the most common and active categories of threat actors are cybercriminals. These individuals or groups are primarily financially motivated, their objective is profit, and they typically seek the fastest, least resistant path to it. Common cybercriminal tactics include phishing campaigns, ransomware deployments, and credential theft for resale on dark web marketplaces. Cybercriminals often exploit well-known vulnerabilities or weak access control. Their success often hinges on volume and automation rather than stealth or sophistication. Analysts must be alert to low-complexity but high-volume attacks. On the CySA Plus exam, you may be asked to recognize typical cybercriminal behavior based on attack characteristics. Another prominent category is advanced persistent threats, or APTs. These are sophisticated, stealthy groups, often backed by nation-states or large organizations. Their operations are targeted, prolonged, and usually driven by political, economic, or strategic espionage goals. APTs spend significant time in reconnaissance, then infiltrate systems through phishing, zero-day exploits, or lateral movement, often remaining undetected for months. They are not after quick financial gain, but seek intellectual property, military secrets, or long-term access to strategic infrastructure. CySA Plus questions often include APT scenarios that test your ability to detect subtle anomalies or long-duration attacks. Hacktivists represent a different type of motivation. These actors are ideologically or politically driven. Their goal is to spread messages, cause disruption, or embarrass organizations perceived as unethical or unjust. Their attacks are often loud and public, including website defacement, denial of service campaigns, or data leaks designed to draw media attention. While not as technically advanced as APTs or as profit-focused as cybercriminals, hacktivists can cause significant reputational damage. On the exam, expect questions involving politically timed disruptions or message-driven data dumps. Insider threats are unique in that they come from within the organization. These may include employees, contractors, vendors, or partners with authorized access to systems. Insider threats can be either intentional, such as a disgruntled employee leaking data, or unintentional, like an employee who falls for a phishing email and unknowingly introduces malware. Because insiders bypass many external security controls, these threats are often more difficult to detect. Analysts must pay attention to subtle changes in behavior or access patterns. CySA Plus scenarios involving insiders will often require interpretation of anomalous account activity. Intentional insiders deliberately misuse their access for personal gain, revenge, or sabotage. These actors might steal customer data, tamper with critical systems, or exfiltrate intellectual property. They are often familiar with internal controls and may attempt to cover their tracks. Detecting them requires behavior analytics, robust logging, and cross-team communication. On the exam, you may be asked how to monitor and respond to insider threats without infringing on employee privacy rights or trust. Unintentional insiders present a softer challenge but remain a significant risk. These are employees who, due to poor training or lack of awareness, engage in risky behavior such as clicking malicious links, reusing passwords, or mishandling sensitive data. These actions open the door for external attackers. Analysts must support security awareness programs and implement layered controls that minimize the impact of user error. You may be tested on risk reduction strategies that address accidental insider actions. Script kiddies are another commonly mentioned threat actor group. These are individuals, often amateurs, who use pre-built tools or scripts found online without fully understanding how they work. While their skills may be limited, script kiddies can still cause damage if they exploit poorly secured systems. They often target low-hanging fruit such as outdated software or default passwords. Defending against them requires maintaining strong baseline security hygiene. On the exam, you may be asked to distinguish between low-skill actors and more advanced threats based on indicators found during incident analysis. Organized cybercrime groups represent a more dangerous version of cybercriminal activity. These groups operate like traditional criminal enterprises, often with hierarchies, funding, infrastructure, and defined roles. They may combine social engineering, malware development, and financial laundering in complex campaigns. Their operations can span multiple regions and include ransomware as a service, data trafficking, and banking fraud. Analysts must treat these groups as persistent, skilled threats that require both technical defense and threat intelligence collaboration. The exam may present multi-step attacks with financial impact and ask which threat actor is likely responsible. So for the behavioral side, Crow's famed skilled threat experts William Vaughan, who takes in a menagerie of clients every day who do not have a pattern. For the behavioral side, Crow's calls him William Zanuck, the founder and operator of MITRE. Nation-state actors, finally, are the most well-resourced and dangerous of all threat actor categories. Sponsored by governments, they pursue geopolitical, military, or economic objectives. These actors may target national infrastructure, elections, energy grids, or supply chains. They have access to zero-day exploits, custom malware, and cutting-edge evasion techniques. Nation-state operations often combine cyber attacks with disinformation, sabotage, or strategic surveillance. Detecting these actors requires deep threat intelligence, long-term monitoring, and collaboration with law enforcement or international partners. Expect the most complex exam scenarios to involve nation-state attackers and advanced evasion techniques. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are more security courses on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Now that we've established a foundational understanding of threat actor types, ranging from cybercriminals and hacktivists to nation-state groups and insider threats, let's expand on how these actors operate, what motivates them, and how analysts use this knowledge to detect, classify, and respond effectively to cyber incidents. In this second half of the episode, we'll look at tactics, techniques, and procedures, motivations behind threat behaviors, and how ongoing threat profiling helps analysts work smarter, not harder. This awareness is crucial both in practice and for mastering the CySA Plus exam, where situational awareness of adversaries can directly impact your response strategy. Understanding motivation is the first step in identifying and anticipating threat actor behaviors. Financial gain is one of the most prevalent motivations and is typically associated with cybercriminals, ransomware groups, and organized crime rings. Their tactics often aim at monetizing stolen data, hijacking systems for ransom, or committing fraud. Conversely, ideological motives are associated with hacktivists and some insider threats who believe they're pursuing a cause. Political or strategic motives are often behind nation-state and APT operations. Understanding what drives a threat actor can help determine their targets, the duration of their attacks, and how likely they are to escalate once discovered. Analysts pay close attention to TTPs, short for tactics, techniques, and procedures, when profiling threat actors. Tactics describe the general goal of the attack, such as privilege escalation or data exfiltration. Techniques refer to how those goals are achieved, like using credential dumping or remote code execution. Procedures describe specific tools or steps used, like deploying mimikatz or abusing scheduled tasks. Analysts track these patterns over time to build profiles of known actors. And when an analyst recognizes the same set of techniques across multiple incidents, It may point to a single threat group, even if the attack vectors differ. On the exam, you may be asked to match TTPs to likely threat actor categories. Cybercriminals often focus on attacks that scale quickly and offer high return on investment. Common techniques include phishing campaigns, malware distribution, credit card skimming, and exploiting weak credentials. Their infrastructure may be purchased or rented with the goal of targeting as many victims as possible. Analysts should monitor for common indicators like mass phishing emails, generic ransomware payloads, or access to known malware command and control servers. Detection usually involves rapid behavioral analysis and automated alerting tied to financially motivated activities. You may be asked to select the appropriate response strategy when cybercriminal tactics are detected. Advanced persistent threats engage in slow, stealthy operations. Their TTPs include long-term reconnaissance, use of zero-day vulnerabilities, deployment of custom malware, and advanced lateral movement. These actors avoid detection for as long as possible, often using encryption, privilege escalation, and anti-forensics techniques. Analysts use threat intelligence and advanced behavioral analytics to detect anomalies consistent with APT behavior. These indicators may be subtle, like data exfiltration at unusual hours, changes to registry keys, or long-term domain generation algorithm traffic. The CySA Plus exam may test your understanding of these more nuanced tactics. Hacktivists tend to operate loudly and often target public-facing infrastructure. Their methods include website defacement, public data leaks, and distributed denial-of-service attacks. The goal is visibility and disruption, not persistence or secrecy. Analysts detect these threats by monitoring for unexpected outbound traffic volumes, defaced websites, or breaches that are announced on social media. Because hacktivist attacks often unfold rapidly, containment and communication are critical. You may see exam questions that ask how to prioritize response actions when a politically motivated breach is underway. Insider threats require a different detection strategy. Because these actors already have authorized access, their behavior must be monitored rather than blocked at the perimeter. Analysts rely on user and entity behavior analytics, UABA, to identify outlier behavior such as abnormal file access, large data transfers, or logins at strange hours. Indicators of insider activity include privilege abuse, policy violations, or suspicious interactions with systems they normally don't access. CySA Plus scenarios may involve subtle account abuse patterns or require identification of high-risk insider behaviors. Script kiddies typically reuse malware and exploitation kits downloaded from forums or open repositories. Their attack tools are easily recognizable and often generate noisy indicators, making them easier to detect than stealthier actors. Analysts monitor for the use of outdated exploits, failed login attempts, or standard malware signatures. While these actors are less sophisticated, weakly defended environments can still fall victim to their tactics. You may be tested on how to identify attacks that lack advanced obfuscation, or on distinguishing between tool reuse and targeted compromise. Organized cybercrime groups are hybrid entities. They may operate with the professionalism and discipline of nation-state actors, but are motivated by profit. Their tactics include advanced phishing campaigns, the use of botnets, and development of malware-as-a-service platforms. Analysts often detect these threats through layered indicators, such as phishing, followed by credential stuffing, then persistent access via remote access tools. These groups frequently target financial institutions, healthcare providers, and other data-rich industries. The CySA Plus exam may ask how to track layered or multi-stage attacks and attribute them to sophisticated crime syndicates. Nation-state actors employ the most advanced tactics and tend to follow the full cyber kill chain. These actors use evasion techniques like custom-built backdoors, encrypted command and control, and anti-sandbox mechanisms. Their operations may involve long dwell times, multiple stages of attack, and strategic timing. Analysts use intelligence sharing partnerships and advanced detection techniques to catch these actors. This includes DNS sinkholing, custom YAR rules, behavioral fingerprinting, and telemetry correlation. Expect complex questions on the exam that require correlating multiple weak signals to identify a nation-state operation. Ongoing threat profiling is critical to staying ahead of evolving actors. Analysts work with industry groups, information sharing and analysis centers, ISACs, and government bodies to exchange indicators of compromise, TTPs, and attack summaries. This collaboration ensures that organizations are not isolated in their defense and can benefit from shared experience. Profiles are updated with new signatures, campaign data, or behavioral heuristics, improving threat detection over time. The CySA Plus exam may include questions on intelligence collaboration and how to use shared data to enhance your organization's posture. To summarize Episode 43, categorizing and profiling threat actors enables cybersecurity analysts to predict behaviors, prioritize risks, and develop more targeted defense strategies. From understanding attacker motivations to tracking their TTPs, these profiling techniques are essential for anticipating threats and responding effectively. A thorough understanding of threat actor profiles will not only help you pass the CySA Plus exam, but it will also enhance your ability to operate in high-pressure cybersecurity environments, where rapid, informed action can make all the difference. Thanks for listening. To learn more about cybersecurity, please visit baremetalcyber.com. There you will find best-selling books, videos, and even more free cybersecurity training courses. Please subscribe to the PrepCast and our various podcasts. And thanks for listening.